Hey, what's up? This is Game with the Host again, and I'm back with another video. I wanted to touch some topics about if you ever thinking about selling on eBay and how to protect yourself. So pretty much back in 2020, I started a eBay store. And I sold a lot of retro games, a lot of things. I sold a lot of things. I pretty much the total came up to, I'd say $1,400 is what I sold of a bunch of retro stuff. Obviously I used the money because I needed it. We were getting evicted, so I had to hurry up and sell everything that I didn't want to lose indefinitely. So I sold it for money. So I pretty much had ended up starting, a whole eBay store pretty much. So that ended up processing, and the way I would protect myself every time I would sell something on that platform is I would either take a video of myself either using the product, and then if there was any problems with that seller, I would either send them the video or just complete their request of a refund, because you never want to keep these people on the line. They'll start a lot of problems with the eBay get back. So what I would do to protect myself is I would put this game into the I would pretty much film myself in third person putting this thing in, testing it out, and obviously putting it back in, showing the box and showing everything. So just in case there was always an issue, I can always just send that video back. The other thing I would do is I would post those clear pictures of the condition of the disc. I would post multiple pictures, just because me as a buyer, I've always loved that sellers, they post a lot of pictures about everything that you need to know about the product. So for me, the transparency starts when there's more information to go off of. And that's how I made a lot of money from the stuff I had already. Obviously, I spent probably maybe a little bit more than that, but this is what I sold it for at almost buddy value, like I was selling it to my friends. So I mean, that was a couple things that I would do to protect myself if I was ever selling consoles or anything like that. Because I remember buying a PS3 that plays all the titles, the PS1 through PS3. So what ended up happening is, somehow when I got the console, the guy didn't check it fully, or somehow when it was being shipped, it hit the floor really hard somehow. I put in the disc and it was just hovering, like right in the entrance. It was going in, it was just hovering right in the entrance, just sticking out a bit. And then I called them. I was like, there's a big issue here with the disc nut. It doesn't go in and stuff. I mean, I paid a pretty penny for that whole console, man. I still almost regret getting rid of it, because like I said, it played all the titles of the PlayStation. So I was obviously planning on doing some kind of some homebrew to it, obviously what's legal. And because you gotta understand, the military used to use these devices, the PlayStation 3s and all of that. The military used to use these devices, so obviously they would install them with like terabyte hard drives that would record more than what, because you can easily put 1,000 gigabytes on the PS3. It's gonna accept it. So you gotta think about it this way. When I had gotten that system, I didn't know that I was sitting on a semi, you know, something that I can resell, like a gold chain, or like a chain or something that you can resell. I was seeing it as something that I just got for me, right? So I wasn't seeing it as like, oh, this is not really something that I should be harnessing. I should eventually sell it and get my money back for it or more. So eventually I got you know, I got into, you know, completion with myself, and I was like, all right, well, obviously it takes a lot of watts. I mean, that thing took like 200, 300 watts off the tap. I mean, the system was a energy hungry system. So I mean, you know, obviously at some point I would have to make that decision to get rid of it. So even with that system, I even tried to, you know, when I sold it, I even tried to make a video for myself just before I sold it, you know, of everything working, because I had to open that system and fix what was wrong with the disc not coming in and out. So, and because I'm handy with these things, I kind of have a little bit of knowledge about, you know, how to fix these things. Maybe I don't know how to solder or desolder, but as far as like what the component does and where the component is connected to, I understand that. So I'm also not an expert at coding. I wouldn't know how to code per se, but I would obviously be willing to learn. But the whole catch with that system, you know, when I bought it, everything, dude, I even got an extension intercooler for it that I sold, like maybe I bought for like, I think 140. I sold it lesser for like $100 with the system. You know, it was to cool this system. I mean, this system would get so hot. The PlayStation 3, the OG version, it was a crazy design to have put 3 systems in that system. And you know, like I said, I was obviously didn't know that I was sitting on like a, you know, something I can resell for a little bit more. But obviously the time had changed and I ended up reselling it, obviously. So, you know, what I did to protect myself, obviously I filmed that video, and if the seller ever had a problem and they said to me that I had done something wrong, then I would send them that video, and they would clearly see that whatever happened either happened in transition or either they did it. So that was just to protect myself. Those are just 2 little steps that I would do to protect myself, is post more pictures of the product, how the disc looks, everything about the disc, what is included with the disc, everything. So if anything is ever missing from the final product, and when I get it back as that, then I would be able to reach out to the eBay customer service and get my refund back for what was not returned, because clearly I posted a photo of everything that was given to the customer. And if I ever received a refund, then technically, you know, that product would have to come back in the same condition, or else there would be a problem. And that was in maybe 2 or 1 instance I had to do that, and I ended up getting my product back and my money back. So who paid me? Obviously it must have been the eBay customer support, for obviously, you know, having your back as a seller and having their back as a client buyer. So obviously, you know, someone has to get paid there, and obviously that's what happened for me. It wasn't too much money. It was like $5-7. I mean, it was just a disc game. So I mean, obviously I was selling all these things at a wholesale because I couldn't keep them, and even then I still have stuff, you know, sitting in my storage. You know, I should sell it, wipe it and sell it, but I mean, clearly, you know, if I do that, I'm gonna have to, you know, do my whole, you know, the things I have to do to protect myself as a seller when selling to other people that I don't know who they are. And that was mostly the instant all the time. It was like this random people with like random usernames, buying my stuff. And for the most part, about 95% of them went through. And then maybe there was a couple that they were awaiting payment and they never paid, so I never shipped it. I mean, I learned a lot selling stuff on eBay. I wish I could do it again, because it's kind of like a rush. It feels good to sell something that someone is gonna share, or they're gonna put on their shelf or whatever. It feels good as the seller to sell something, even if it's for $5, $10, $20. I mean, I was letting these things go at a wholesale price because I had rather, got something back for them, because essentially I had them for free. Someone had given them to me, or, we're just keeping them just to, I don't know. I mean, at some point you would have to ask yourself, what's the point of keeping these older devices? Because newer stuff is just going to keep coming out. So the older stuff is not going to be supported. So eventually, you have to kind of, even I'm still making these choices and, brainstorming these decisions of whether I should, let these things go. And I mean, obviously the answer is yes, because, you can't cling on to the past. It's grounds for destruction. So somehow, you have to move on with anything you can get back. And I think that's what I've been doing my whole life, is just looking after myself and just trying to set an example for the people who don't have an example. Because initially speaking, I didn't really have an example. No one really set an example for me. And my mom, she can't really do two jobs. She's not a man. There's a clear difference between a man and a woman. And if a man doesn't do his job in the family, you can clearly see, what the outcome could and might be. So, eventually I have to think for myself and, maybe, try to be more informative than what my father used to be, because essentially I didn't really learn too much from my father. Everything I learned is from my mother. So, and what I learned from school and everything that I've been through. So I just hope that maybe, when you sell on eBay, if you ever plan on ever, making a store for yourself on eBay, that you post more photos of the product, of everything, serial number, the unique little dib in the case, everything, so the buyer knows what they're getting, and they know that all of these pictures represented the product, not just one photo represented the whole product. Every single picture represented that product that they received. And the way I protected myself is by posting a lot of pictures of everything unique about this product. And obviously by recording a video of myself using the product, so people wouldn't think that I gave them a defective item, when in fact I had listed the problems and had listed what I was selling it for. So that's what I did to protect myself. Just a video and more pictures. I mean, you might be just so eager to sell. You might just post one picture, two pictures, blurry pictures, and then the buyer will take advantage of that. They would gladly take advantage of you because they see that you're inexperienced. You don't know how to post your picture quality. Your picture quality has to be almost near perfect, because then the buyer can't beat around the bush. They know what they bought, they know what they clicked on, and that's the only thing that was produced in the picture, the product, right? maybe not so good to have a lot of things scattered around, and that one product is right in the middle, and a lot of things scattered around, like you're like playing this whole find the treasure, and the whole it has to be like good quality photos of the product, so they know what they're buying. And this is what helped me just sell all of my stuff with maybe little or no problem. And that's what I did pretty much. I sold the PS3, I sold a GameCube with a Game Boy player attachment with a bunch of Game Boy games. I also sold it a whole kit with the Game Boy SP. Obviously, all those games were all together, chargers, controllers. I sold a Nintendo 64 all gold edition. It was just a color gold all around. I even still have one of the controllers of the gold N64 that I might want to sell sometime. I used to call it Exodia, from Yu-Gi-Oh, just because the all gold color, and you had all the pieces that everything needed to be the gold color of the system. So that's what it was. The controllers were gold, the pack was gold. It was just a pretty sad thing to do, but I had to do it, man, or else I could have lost the stuff. So I settled for just selling it, because it's better, it's worth more in someone else's hands than in the trash. So I had to make that decision, and I'm glad whoever bought this stuff is happy, because I would have gladly kept it, but I suppose maybe it was for the best. I don't want to cling on to the past, so I just try to keep it simple, and I try to alternate now, just try to alternate through the gears in life that are given, because at some point, man, like I mentioned, your parents stop supporting you, man, and you have to see how you can fend for yourself. And I just hope that maybe someday, like I said, someone can maybe take a chance on my channel, and hopefully they could find what I say useful to them, and because it was useful to me. So maybe somebody doesn't tell you, I guess you wouldn't know. So I guess if I told you, then obviously you know. So it was a pretty niche thing to do, to collect all these things and buy them at a wholesale price and resell them, even though I would only play through them maybe one time and put them back on the shelf. So for the most part, it was the right thing to start the eBay store and sell those things, because timeline is the only thing that keeps everything in check. It's just if you don't have things up to date, it just becomes harder for you to do stuff. You have to solder, you have to connect to different IP addresses. It's a lot more work than it's cut out to be. And I think that if you just follow the technology, I suppose that you'll have a lot more fun, because all your friends are going to have it, obviously. Christmas is coming around, and obviously, all your friends are going to get a PlayStation 5 for Christmas, and you're all going to be playing by the next year. So it's like, that's how it was for me, man. I remember camping out for Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. No, Call of Duty Black Ops 1. I remember camping out for that game. It was awesome, dude. Playing with friends, Xbox 360, all of that, man. Having to freaking pay for online services. Yeah, my mom paid for all of that, dude. Every time I would ask my mom, man, she would buy me the 3-month subscription, man. I got to give that woman my life, man, because I don't think I would have ever taken any interest into anything else if she wouldn't have let me play my video games. And I'm just so experienced at what I know about them. It's just, I mean, it's a challenge, but it can be done. Should you do it? Maybe not, because it's a head scratcher. It's a challenge. I've done all these things with these devices, with the homebrew and all of that, just to challenge myself on what I know, what I can do with these things. It hasn't been like, oh, I need to make money off this, or it's just been a personal niche, a personal challenge for me to know about these private companies and how they conduct their businesses and how they make their things. I mean, obviously, I don't know about too much about the, all the firmware and all the coding, but, as far as what does what, I understand. So, I mean, I've taken a lot of interest in all of these things, and I hope it can lead me somewhere good. I hope my knowledge can, open doors for me, because essentially that's what I know how to do. Is I know how to fix the information and maybe turn it into something better than what it was before. So, and I just hope if you ever start a eBay store, you take what I said into consideration, because you only want to protect yourself, and you only want to make your money, and you don't want to be giving it back and giving it here. And you want to make your money. So I guess more pictures of every unique thing wrong with the product, more pictures, unique things. Take a photo of all the unique things, and then take a video. You got to take a video of you using the product, because then they could say anything. They can't say anything if you have a video of you using the product perfectly fine until they got in their hands and they want to start some kind of problem. They'd be like, oh, I got it now. It's crazy, man. It was funny. For the GameCube, I even included a whole note for this guy, on how to even start the homebrew, so he can freaking play all the custom games and everything. It was pretty good, man. I enjoyed selling stuff. It was a pretty fun thing to do for me. Obviously, it wasn't so fun because I was selling my stuff, but it was obviously exciting that I was getting up every day and something was sold, and I was like, oh, it's time to package the stuff. And that was an excitement for that, because you make money. You sell something that you bought that you no longer have use for, and someone else has use for it. They're gonna put it on their shelf. They're gonna play it all over again. It's all about what you give back to the same community that you work for, whether it's overseas or whether it's here in the U.S. So I think that's what it's just been for me. It's just been a learning experience for me with the whole eBay thing. And, I hope that, maybe I can help you. And, you can just, by taking these two little steps to mind, is just posting more pictures of the uniqueness and getting a video of yourself using it. Preferably someone recording you, full on you, and you have your picture of a profile on the eBay so they know that's you, because that's all that matters. The identity is the key thing there. If it's just some random picture, they feel like the buyer feels like they can finesse you, they can take your product, take what they need out of it, and then send it back broken. However, you need to do what you need to do to protect yourself, and you got to do that with the power of the camera, the pictures of the unique dents of every single thing wrong with the product and how it was shipped, and a video of someone recording you using the product actually in action, and the seller, the buyer, seeing for themselves, oh wow, this was working when I got it. This was working when they had it. So when I got it, I must have fucked it up. Then it's the seller is a culprit. You see, it's always process of elimination with these things, and you have to do what you have to do to protect yourself and your money, because that's your money and that's your product that was sold. And if people want to finesse you and mess with your product and then send it back to you and do all these crazy things, then someone has to pay up for that, because I sent out an excellent product and it came back to me in a defective manner. So what I did to protect myself is I post more pictures, and I made a video of me using the product. Sent it to the seller. Sent it to the buyer, I mean. That's really all I got for today. I'm always thinking about zippy ideas that could probably benefit someone. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they were, just not thinking about it. And maybe I could point out those unique things that probably you missed. So that's what I did to protect myself when I was selling on eBay. And I sold a lot of stuff, about $1,400 worth of stuff, of old retro video games. And I had fun doing it. And I plan to do it again, obviously. Yeah. Thanks for watching. This is a Game with the Host. And I will be posting more Mobile Legends, because for the time remainder, I'm starting to like that game. I really love League of Legends, so I might post more Mobile Legends. So just to let you know. Peace.